This is the Cup of Christmas. It's in our holiday book, and if you don't have this holiday book, you need to let me know so I can pop it in the mail to you because it's pretty awesome, okay? So on page 34, ladies, you'll find the stamp set, and on page 35, you'll find the dies that go with it. Now, in my notes, it says Greece. So when I was on the Greece incentive trip this summer, I won these dies in one of the spin the prize wheel. So that one of those days, I actually got those dies, which I was pretty psyched about because if you know me, I love snowmen, coffee, and gingerbread. So they're just my go-to things in the fall and winter. So that's where you can find them. You've got some great inspirational projects right over here. And if you look at the stamp set, you're going to notice that some of these items are shaded. Now, if they're shaded, that means there's a die to cut them out, okay? So you can always look for that shading in the book, and that happens to have a die that cuts it out. Something new with this stamp set that Stampin' Up! Has never done before, nor has another stamping company. Stampin' Up! Has created this stamp set called Reversibles. And I'll show you, this is a photopolymer stamp. This is what it looks like. And if you open it up, you're going to see the mugs, okay? Now, if I peel off one of these mugs, and we're actually not stamping with them tonight, believe it or not. We will stamp with them at some point. You can attach this to the mounting block, and I don't even have a block over here, and you can ink it up and stamp. Clean it off, okay? Flip it over, stamp on this side, and stamp again. Hey, Sonia, welcome. So what I'm trying to describe is you can stamp on either side of this stamp, which is perfect because you get a handle on the left side if you want. You have a handle on the right side if you want. And there are two dies in the collection, one for the left-handed mug and one for the right-handled mug. So that is really cool. It is patent pending. It is a Stampin' Up! Invention, and it's called Reversibles. So it's nice to work for a very competitive rubber stamping company and very innovative as well. All right, so that's Cup of Christmas. And here are the dies, and I really have not had a chance to cut them all out and put them on the back of the board. I like to do that. But we're going to use some of these dies tonight. You'll see how they are used and how you can create the little mug with it, okay? All right, so I think I can put this to the side. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here for a few moments, and you all can take a picture of it with your cell phone. Thanks for sharing, Sonia. Or if you would like, you can do a screenshot. Yeah, the cups are really cool, Gail. They're awesome. So I'll give this a few minutes. The whipped cream may not make any sense right now, but it will in a little bit. So take a few seconds, take a picture with your cell phone, or do a screenshot. And then on Friday morning, head on over to my blog for a complete supply list with measurements and photos. Okay, and the video will be there as well. It'll be the replay of that. All right, so I'll give you a couple more seconds with that. Okay, now we're really ready to start. All right, and I can bring this in a little bit later if I need to for you. Okay. All right, well, we're going to start, ladies, with our Stampin' Trimmer. All right. And let's see, why don't I zoom in a bit, and I'll move this down so you can see. And the first thing you're going to need is a sheet of pumpkin pie cardstock. Now this is going to be the little box that we are going to create, okay? This is the box that is between the two cups, all right? Okay, and so I've actually already cut this, but you'll want to be sure to cut pumpkin pie cardstock at 3 inches by 3 5/8. So I hope you can see where that 5/8 is. Whoops, got to go this way. 3 5/8 is right there, all right? And then there's only one other thing to do. You're going to score. It's very simple scoring. You're going to head on over to the 1 inch and you're going to score and lift up and rotate the cardstock. Then you're going back on over to 1. You're going to score again. So ladies, what we're doing is we are scoring around all 4 sides of the paper at 1 inch. So isn't that a super simple little box? Just score 1 inch on all 4 sides. Now I can get rid of the trimmer, and I'm going to fold these score lines. We'll go ahead and create the box, okay? And we'll get the box out of the way, and then I'll show you how you want to cut everything else for the project. So this will probably take us 45 minutes to an hour because we are going to be heating the puff paint. And that you've got to be a little patient with that, and that takes, you know, several rounds of heating. And so that's why I chose only to do one project tonight. All right, so here we are. You want to cut up to the score line, and we're creating those flaps. And now what we're going to do is these 2 flaps are going to go inside like that. And so I want to take my Tombow glue, and I did use Tombow a lot for this project. I tell you, the more I use it, the more I like it, and the less sticky I become. Because, you know, when this gets on your fingers, it likes to stay there. All right. And so now what I'm going to do is I am just going to close this up. Now, I could use tear and tape if I wanted, okay? But I just kind of chose to do this, and you're going to notice it only takes a few minutes for this to dry. So, any questions at this point? Let me know if you have any. All right, our first side is dry. So now we're gonna move over to this other side. We're going to put the Tombow there, and we're going to bring that up, all right? So let's go ahead and we'll put Tombow there and Tombow there. And then we are going to push this up into place, and we are going to close that. All right, just like that. And again, just a few minutes to dry. I'm going to go ahead and put the cap back on my Tombow glue there. And there are other mugs on Pinterest, and I'm not sure what measurements they used. So I created my box and I adjusted it to fit this antibacterial soap. And look how it fits. It's snug as a bug in a rug, and it's not gonna fall over, okay? So there you go, that's all done, and we're going to now put this to the side. All right, our next item is going to be the cups. All right, so I'm gonna show you those dies. And the dies, of course, are here. They're called Cup of Cheer, and there are 13 of these. Now, this is what I love about this die set that we've never really had before. We've got a handle on the left side and a handle on the right. And so you're gonna see how convenient this really is. So I am going to put one mug here for cutting and one mug here for cutting. Now this is just a scrap piece of pumpkin pie cardstock. But if you would like the measurements, I can give you those. And so you're going to want a piece of cardstock that's about 4.5 inches long and then about 2.5 inches tall, okay? And that'll give you the 2 mugs, and you can go ahead and cut those out. So the nice thing is, once they are cut out, then you can put the cups on either side of the box, and your handle is on the same side They're on the very same side. It is just the coolest. All right, so that's what you're going to do with the cups. And then you're also going to need a small white tag, and I did use this tag. You'll notice there are two different size tags. So I used the smaller one, and you are going to want one of those in Whisper White, and we're gonna stamp Enjoy on that. And then also one last piece, and it's this diagonal design. You're going to want to cut one of these out in Whisper White. All right, just run it through the Big Shot a couple of times. I use the magnetic platform, the cutting pad, the paper and die, and another cutting pad. Okay, and I didn't bring the Big Shot platform over here, but it's the magnetic one. All right. So I'm not hearing anything or seeing any comments. Let me know that you're still there or that you can still see me. Good. Hey, Jody, I'm so happy you made it. I know you're leaving shortly, so it's very nice to have you along with us tonight. All right, so you need one of those. Now, I am going to show you this. This is a poinsettia, all right? So let me show you what that looks like when it's cut out. This is the design, and then in the center I just kind of put some words over it, okay? But that's what the poinsettia looks like, and I wanted you to see that. So for those just joining, I've got 2 Christmas cocoa mugs, and I'll give you more details about those later. But we're gonna focus on the pumpkin spice, because if you can make this one, you can make holiday ones, okay? Oh, and candy canes, let's talk about that. All right, so you're going to notice this little straw, okay? So what that is this candy cane in early espresso, just like that. So you need one of those in early espresso if that's the color you want to use. And then you're going to need a solid candy cane and do that in pumpkin pie. Now, the reason all these holes are here is to gently pop out the paper, because the paper may get stuck in there. So you can just kind of gently pop that out. So the holes will not cut through the candy cane, all right? So that's what that straw is, ladies. It's those candy canes right there, and you'll see how that's done too. I'm gonna put that back. And so that really takes care of the dies for this evening and what we're cutting, all right? So now let's go ahead and let's get this little pumpkin pie cardstock embellished. I'm going to use the lines, and I am going to use my fine tip glue pen. Thank you, Monica. I'm so glad you like it. All right, so I am opening up my fine tip glue pen, and right before class tonight, I tested it to be sure that it was working. And I am going to squirt out just a little dab, and this is going to be really hard for you to see because it's white cardstock on white grid paper, but I am going to zoom in so you can kind of see some of the little bits of glue that I'm putting on here. I am not going to do the entire cup. I'm going to do the outer edges, and I might do a couple inside edges. But I'm just doing enough so that it will stick to the mug, all right? So that's kind of where we are with that, and that's what I use the fine tip glue pen for. And you see that little pin? We need to put that back inside that little hole where the glue comes out, and this can be very tricky, and I know I'm close up, and if I don't get it now, I'll do it later. There we go. It did slide in. So if you have one of these, be sure that the pin gets back in there. That keeps the glue from clogging. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your pick tool, and let me zoom out a bit now. And then I'm going to use this part of it, and I am going to pick this up. And then I am going to lay this right on top, like this. And it's a little bit easier when you're standing up and you're standing right over it. I am sitting down and I've got my hands under the camera, so I'm literally not looking straight down. Thank you, Lavon. I know, isn't this perfect? All right, so now you can see that, or maybe you can't see, it's lifting up there. So let me take a little more glue now. And I'm just gonna put some under here and I'll reattach. All right, I'm making this look really difficult. I promise you, when I made this, this went on beautifully, and it's because I was actually standing up and looking over it. All right, so let's put another little piece here and make sure you all can still see my hands, and then I will attach that there. All right. All right. And just press it down, give it a few minutes to attach, and hopefully that is going to work. And I'm going to put this back on, okay? All right. Okay. Well, it still doesn't want to attach. So I'm going to do it again. It very well could be, I don't know this, but I don't know how long I have had this. Maybe it's old fine tip glue. I used a different fine tip glue when I created the first one. So maybe that's the difference. I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. All right, maybe I just did not have enough glue. All right. All right. Okay, so now we have it on. I just don't think I had enough glue. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to work on attaching this to our box. And for those joining late, here's the marshmallow pumpkin latte. This was the inspiration. I was shopping, saw this, and I thought, oh my gosh, I could create a cup and put that inside. So that's kind of how that was born. Plus, I had seen a ton of these little cocoa mugs that everybody was making. I just thought they were adorable. All right, so I do want to attach this to the box. So in order to do that, I know that I need to put glue either on the box or on the mug. If I put it on the box, I've got to be sure that I don't put glue in those corners. So this is what I did. And I think I used a pencil at the time, but we're going to use an ink pen. And I just flipped over my cup. I put it on top of the box, and I put a line there. And that line is telling me I need to glue from here down, all right? And I just thought that was the easiest way to do it. And so I'm going to use the Tombow here, and we are going to put glue below that line. All right, I'm probably using too much glue. I probably don't need all of this. And now I am going to attach it to the box, just like this. All right, give that just a few seconds to dry. And the Tombow does dry clear, okay? So we're not gonna worry about that too much, all right? Can everybody see okay, hear me okay? Every once in a while it looks like my hands freeze. So I'm just making sure that I'm still there. All right, we'll give that a few more seconds. So if you were creating a bunch of these, you could cut them all at one time, put the boxes all together at one time, do the tops, do the one side of the cups, then do the other side with the cup. So they're all different kinds of ways that, you know, you could create an assembly line and do this. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over now. And now I'm ready to do the other side with glue. And I've got to lay this cup down one more time. And I'm putting a little mark right there. Getting out the glue. I'll try and be a little easier. I'm being a little heavy-handed on my glue tonight, which is making it a bit messy, so I apologize. I love the fact that we have 2 cup dies. We can use it to reverse the cup, and we can have a left-handed mug and a right-handed. All right. Oh, good. So my hand does freeze, but the voice continues. Okay, good. Well, as long as that happens, we're good. Thanks for letting me know that, because I happened to look up and see my hands kind of frozen, and I'm like, okay, what is going on? All right. So I'm going to flip that back over. I'm going to reposition this cup. I didn't quite wait long enough for that to dry. All right. I'm going a little fast because, you know, it's live video, but take your time doing this. It's really not that hard. I think we got it. All right. So that's our cup. And now the next thing we're going to do is work on the cream, the latte, okay? And you can see that texture there. And that texture, I'm going to move this totally out of the way. That texture was created with the Snowfall Accents puff paint. This is in the holiday catalog. It is part of the Let It Snow suite. And you can find that in the holiday book. It retails for $4.50. Hi, Amanda. Welcome. So nice to have you tonight. All right, so this is actually what we're going to be using, okay? All right, so I showed you that. Now I have something else to show you. I remembered that this is now retired, okay? But I remembered that I had the coffee cups. And of course, I'll keep them forever because I love coffee. So these are the dies that we used to carry. And this is the coordinating stamp set that we used to carry, okay? Well, look here at this die. It's whipped cream. And so this is what I used to create this latte here. Now, if you don't have this retired set, I have an alternative for you that works just as well. So you're going to see me do this twice tonight, and you're going to have two options, okay? All right. Hey, Mary Kay, welcome. All right, so the first thing we're going to start with is we are cutting out, and again, I'm going to show you an alternative that will work for you, okay? We are going to cut this out in Whisper White cardstock, okay? So that's what I did first, and then I'll move that die. Now, here was the other decision that I had to make. When you put the antibacterial soap in here, when you go to add the whipped cream, I'll lay it down because you can maybe see better. You can still see the top of the antibacterial soap, and I didn't like that. You could certainly do that, but I didn't care for that. And so I decided that I would add, and hang on, let me find it here. I would add some cardstock to it, all right? So let's look at the measurements real quick. This is with the coffee cup dies. It is retired. You will need the Whisper White cardstock, and it measures 1 inch by 1.5 inches, okay? So those are the measurements for this extra cardstock, all right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the Tombow glue out one more time. I'm going to run a little bit of glue right along the top there. Aren't y'all loving my grid paper? I'm loving it. It's getting me in the Christmas spirit. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that whipped cream topping to the top. All right. All right, and we're going to give that a few seconds to dry. And while that's taking a few seconds, I'm going to put this back in here. All right. So the fine tip glue is really good for some of this project. All right, let's see if that's drying well. I think it is. So you'll see, this is how I did it on one side. This is what it looks like on the back, all right? And I do know, because I've made several of these now, I do know where to put the puff paint, and that's what I'm going to show you. And I'm going to zoom in a bit. And I'm going to be turning on my heating tool, all right? So be patient with me. I hope you won't be bored, but I'm going to show you how it heats up. This puff paint loves to just fall out. You do want a thin layer of it, all right? And you do want to cover the entire shape. All right, so that's what I'm doing right now, ladies. I'm covering the entire shape. And it looks like glue, but it's our accent puff paint. I am going to use a clothespin because I really don't want to burn my fingers with the heating tool. So I'm going to lift. I should have put the clothespin on before, hang tight, before I put the puff paint on. I see a place. I'm going to put a paper towel under here. I see a place that needs puff paint, so I'm going to add it. We're going to heat this. I'll zoom out just a bit, and you can watch the magic happen. And hopefully I won't blow a fuse, okay? So let me get this turned around. And I'm trying not to hold it too close. Some of the liquid is running. Oh, you can't see it all. Some of the glue is running off, but that's okay. That's why I have a paper towel there. All right, and hopefully you're gonna see some of that magic happen shortly. It's really, really cool effect. Come on. All right. Here we go. It's starting to do something now. Hope you can see that. Oh yeah, this is cool. You know, for the first few seconds, you think that I've ruined it. It's not going to turn out. And then all of a sudden, it does come to life. Check that out. How cool is that? All right, I see a few little places that I would like to add some more. So I will do that. And something I did forget to do, shake this really, really well before applying. All right, and I did forget to shake it. I really did, so I should have done that. I'm gonna add a little bit more and give it a little more texture. All right, and you're just gonna hold it just a little bit away. It's basically like your heat embossing when you emboss with embossing powder, all right? Basically the same thing. It takes a few minutes, so you have to be patient. But I think it's worth the time. I know, isn't it cool, Carol? I love it. All right, this set just makes me happy. I love it. Too fun. So you all hang tight. I'm just about done now. So I hope you are sticking with me through this process. All right, and there's some over here. Whoops, gosh, when I do that, you can't see anything. All right. Someone is going home with this tonight. So you definitely want to comment, and you definitely want to share to be in this drawing. Hi, Lee. Good evening. All right, so if you're just joining me, you're going to see this technique again in a second, all right? But here's our latte. How fun is that? All right, so this is what I'm going to do now, okay? I'm gonna bring my cup on over here. I am going to add, I know, lots of glue tonight, ladies. I am going to add some Tombow down here so that I can attach it to the inside of the box. So I'm just gonna slide it in, and then I want all of that cream to show. I'm not covering that up. Whoops, I'm sorry. I'm not covering that up, okay? And there is the cream, all right? I know, Carol, anything that involves snow. Carol, I love snowman. I bet you do too, all right? So there is their latte. And if I wanted, I could even add a little more and heat it up again, all right? So that little part is done. And so let's let that adhere for a few minutes. I'll just turn it over that way. All right, so gravity will not be in the way. Let's go ahead and fix our candy cane. We can definitely do that. And for this, you're gonna take your Tombow and you are going to just put some glue here. It doesn't have to be over the entire thing, okay? Just a little bit. And then we're going to pick this up. I'm just going to pick it up with that. And then I'm going to lay it here, and I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes. All right? All right. So now we have this done. Now let's put our bacterial soap back inside. In case you're just joining me, I have marshmallow pumpkin latte. It's going in, and now you'll notice that you don't see the top as much, which I preferred. I mean, you don't have to do it, but I just thought it looked better, so that's why I did that, okay? All right, we're gonna continue to let the candy cane dry. We are going to do just some quick stamping here. We're going to stamp the word enjoy. Now you're going to find this word in the stamp set. So let me show you. It is in Cup of Christmas, and it's right here. You can also use the word yum, all right? I'm using early espresso. And as you can see, whoops, I've already cut this. So now we're just going to stamp. All right. And there's the enjoy. Usually I'll stamp and then cut it out. But it's easier, you know, when you're doing a video, so you're not waiting for me to cut it out. I know, Mary Kay, I love how the puff paint covers that seam. So it's just really cool. All right, now we used to carry these smaller punches and we don't anymore. And this one is about 1/8 of an inch in diameter, and I'm using it to punch a hole, all right? And then we're gonna actually tie that to the cup. So let me get the linen thread. You'll definitely want to be sure to visit my blog Friday and pick up the supply list, all right? With pictures, with measurements, and you'll also find the Facebook replay. So let's see. Yeah, so we want to just put this linen thread right through the tag. We're going to finish this cup, and then I'm going to show you an alternative. If you don't have the coffee cup dies, all right? So if you don't have those, they are retired. All right, let's see if I like that. Yep, that'll work. All right, now also what I could do is, if I wanted, I could wrap that thread right around the handle. All right, which, you know what? I'm gonna do that. If you all don't mind waiting just a few seconds, let's do that. You can also attach it with a glue dot, but why not? Because that's how I did the original, all right? All right, so have I talked anybody into the Cup of Christmas bundle and the puff paint? I hope I have, because it is awesome. Alrighty, hang on one second. All right. Now you can also create a really cute tag using the dies, and my plan is to do that tomorrow for my Be Creative Tip of the Week. I wasn't home today, so I wasn't able to get it done. So tomorrow's tip will be how to create a coffee cup tag, all right? Margaret's talked into it. It didn't take much, did it, Margaret? I'm sure it didn't. All right, let's see. Okay, so yeah, so just wrap that right around the handle, just like that. And then you're gonna trim the tails or the ends off. Okay, and now we're ready to add the little straw. Now this is how we're going to do it. You don't even have to cut it, okay? Yes, Gail, it is a must-have. It is. Love the way you ladies think. All right, we're going to actually put glue on the bottom. It's actually the top part of the candy cane. All right, that's where we're putting glue. Okay, because we're going to turn it upside down. Now, it would be darling at Christmas to have the candy cane in the mug. Okay, but it's not Christmas yet, and so it's going to be a straw. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to tuck it, and let me take this out so you can see. All right, I just tucked that behind it and glued it. That's all I did. So there's no cutting. You know, just cut out the 2 candy canes. Oh, good, Trisha. I am so glad you like it. All right. And so there it is. And ladies, that is your pumpkin spice latte. And I actually had one yesterday. All right, so for those of you who do not have the coffee cup framelits dies, all right, I have another option that I think works really well. I'll zoom back in here and I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's done. By the way, this is I'll draw names right after the live broadcast, and I'll let you know who gets to take this home tomorrow. I will be putting it in the mail. All right, so do you see this this latte here? The shape is different. All right, it's not like the other one. So I'm going to show you how to create this. All right, okay, so let's do that. You will need some Post-its. You're going to need a sheet of cardstock. So let me bring in the measurements. And you will notice that I am using, and it just froze for a second. Hey, oh, there we go. I saw it freeze that time too. This is the scallop tag topper punch, all right? And it's still available. And this is what I use for that Christmas cup. And you can find that in the annual book right here. Page 186. I know, Mary Kay. I know it'll be on your list. Hi, Linda. Nice to have you with us tonight. I love you ladies. It cracks me up. We're all the same. We love the same things. If you don't have this one and you have this one, use this one. I never tried this one, and this one actually might even be cuter. All right? So, but the measurements are going to be the same for the cardstock. So that's what I'll show you now. I have scallop tag topper punch. You're going to cut your Whisper White cardstock at 1.5 inches by 1 3/4 inches. And that's what I have right here. All right. So that's what we're going to use to make the alternative latte. All right, so I just want to check something, make sure I'm using this the right way. Yeah, the skinny part. All right, so here, I'll show you this trick. You want to look at your mug. Do you want your paper to go in the back of your mug like this? Because that's too big. Or does it need to go this way? And it needs to go this way. So what we're going to do is, I am putting a Post-it. This is my, I'm going to extend this paper in the punch, all right? Oh, thank you, Gail. I hope you all like this. I mean, if something's retired, we gotta have alternatives, right? All right, so what I'm doing is, this is going inside, hang tight. All right, and I practiced this yesterday, so, okay, here we go. All right, so you're gonna look at the punch. The paper is too small for the guide, so you don't want to use this guide. That's not going to help you. You're inserting the cardstock. You're making sure you're pretty even on both sides, and you're punching. All right, and then you're going to pull that back out, and ladies, that is where that came from. But we're not done with it, okay? We're going to do some other things with it. I do need another piece of cardstock, and I don't know if I brought any more over here. If I didn't, I'm going to come up with another substitute. All right, it looks like I'm, All right, this is what we're going to do. This has glue on. I'm tearing up my grid paper, sorry. This has glue on it anyway. I need a piece of paper, and instead of me getting up and looking for Whisper White cardstock. I'm just going to use this. So pretend this is cardstock, okay? And what I want to do is I'm going to take some snail. I need to cover up this hole, all right, because we don't want that puff paint to go through the hole. And you'll understand what I mean in just a second. All right, see that? Let me get rid of that little edge. So you do need a small piece of cardstock to go behind the hole. I hope that makes sense. We're gonna fill this in for the latte, all right? So I am going to shake this. You really should shake this well, and I forgot to do that when we started, all right? And then after I do this, then I'll give you some more tips and tricks on the other two Christmas cocoa mugs, all right? Whoops, I just spilled that. Good thing I have grid paper. All right, so I am filling this in, all right, and the Christmas grid paper is in my online store tonight, 25 sheets. All right, ladies, and that's the puff paint, and I forgot to do it again, but what you want to do is you really want to put your clothespin here before you get started, all right? All right, and I got really happy, so I might have added a little too much puff paint, but we'll see how it turns out. So hang tight. I'm going to turn on the heating tool, and we're going to start to heat this up. So when you first start, you've got to put your heat tool away from the puff paint, because if you get it too close, it starts running everywhere, all right? So here I am heating, just waiting for this to heat up. And at this point, it looks like I did something wrong, like it's really not gonna work out. So we'll see what happens. And then the longer you stay here and heat it, then the texture begins to form. So here we go. All right. Okay, so now the texture is forming. Be sure to share the video tonight and to like it so that your name will be in the drawing to take home this cute little pumpkin spice latte. All right, so you can see here that this did not get filled. So guess what? We'll go back. We're gonna add a little more texture. And I think that'll be it. I like that I can heat this, and then after it's done, I can go back and add more of the puff paint. So you can't do that with embossing powder, but you can do it with the puff paint, and it's working great. All right, so we are almost there. Just about done. So I think this is a good alternative. What do you ladies think? Will this work? You can also use the other tag, Topper Punch, if you want. So you can use either one. All right. So now we've got our latte. See it? All right. And then this is where you would, this is the back of the mug here, but you would just slide that in and glue it, and then you'd have your latte on that side. Okay, thanks for sharing, Linda. Thank you. All right, ladies, so any questions on the puff paint or the cup of cocoa? The cup of Christmas bundle, that's what it's called. Oh, I know. I was going to share with you some more tips on the mugs. Okay, here's the Christmas mug right here. The words here are from Itty Bitty Christmas. And here it is. It's in the holiday book. And it's this one right here. And I just love the greeting for it. I think it's perfect. The garden green twine is from last year's holiday book. I had some extra. This is real red cardstock. The latte, that's from the coffee cup dies that are retired. And I used for the straw a solid white cardstock for the solid candy cane. And then this what do you want to call this one? The stripe? Yeah, the stripe. That's garden green. okay? So if you want to get a picture of that real quick, and I'll have all of these on my blog. I'm so glad you all like it. I had so much fun with this, just really, really fun. All right, here is the other one, and this one uses that tag punch, all right? All right, I think this one looks better. The one we created tonight actually looks more lifelike, all right? And the poinsettia die here, that's in Whisper White, and that's from the Cup of Cheer, which is the current die set. This is Garden Green cardstock, some real red baker's twine that I had from another year, I think last year. And then the straw, it's the Whisper White solid candy cane, so Whisper White cardstock, and then real red cardstock for the stripe, okay? So that's what these two look like. I'll leave them both here so you can get a picture of those. And I'll zoom out a little bit. There we go. All right, so we now have Christmas grid paper. It's been in my online store since Tuesday. So it's brand spanking new. And it'll be one of the prizes this weekend at Bingo. Here is my online store address, shopwithbcreativestamping.com. If you're not currently working with the demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator and your creative coach. So feel free to shop there and use this hostess code right here for the month of September. And also, just a reminder, I do have a Bee Rewards program. So when you spend $35 in my online store, you earn a bee. And when you've earned 10 bees, you can redeem this reward for $35 in free product. So you can even start that tonight if you want. So this is my Bee Rewarded rewards program. More details over on my blog. All right.